Hey Rachel, how are you? So I looked at your assignment here and it looks pretty good. There's a couple of comments here though that I would add just to enhance this a little bit more. So let's take a look at the rocket for a second, and let's look at this more as a still. Sorry, I'm going to change my mouse for a second. Okay, here we go. So perfect. So now so you have a blast of light, right? But there's no interaction with the background image with this blast of light. When you have a source this bright, it's going to cause everything around it to reflect bright light as well, right? So the way I would do this to make this a little bit more realistic would be quite simple. I'm going to go to the layer underneath the rocket. So let me see. So this is a rocket layer. This is a pre-comp. Perfect. So above this, I'm going to make a solid layer. And the solid is going to be, I guess I can do it this way. The solid, we're going to pick the brightest area in this image, right? So I will go with this, just to get the same sort of tone, and then I would actually use that now, right? So it's blocking out the whole image. That's what it's supposed to do. Next, we're going to take a pen tool, and we're going to try to create a circle in perspective, right? To some degree, right? It's not exactly, but so we have now a white circle in somewhat the same perspective. I just gotta make this a little bit better, right? Now we're gonna go ahead and use the feathering and extract sort of a feather edge, and up here less of a feather edge. Same thing with this, right? So now we get this white bright light. But now if we turn this into a blending mode, right, so keep going down, there's add, right? Now all I have to do now is I can actually decrease this, right? And also adjust the opacity, right? Right. So now you're getting the illusion that the light's affecting the rocks. Right. Now we can try different blend modes and see if there's other ones that might actually work better. Overlay. Let me bring it all the way up to 100. Right. Let me look at the feathering. Right. So maybe something like that. I'm gonna turn that off because I really hate what it's doing. Every time I preview, it just goes so pixelated. I'm gonna increase this and probably check other blend modes. So this is luminosity. Bring down the opacity, right? But it just makes it more convincing. Now this looks too strong. So the reality is I'm going to go with add or screen. And I would probably mask her back in so that the brightness is not affected on her back, right? So, or I can try a hard light. Hard light. Kind of looks the same actually, right? Another way to do this, I'm going to turn that layer off, is if you take this background plate, duplicate it, and we're going to make a mask again, right? The same way. So this is probably going to work a little bit better now that I think about it, right? So I'm going to draw a mask on these and this second plate. Get a little bit further out. So I'm trying to mimic sort of the perspective. Not a good attempt, but it'll work, right? And then add a mask. And then a short mask on the top. I just don't want it to go too far out in the distance. And then we can stretch this one out too. Okay, so now if we apply levels or even a curve, here it is, right? So here's the curves, right? And then we can apply, we can curve some of the white. So in other words, we just have this, right? So I want the river to look more bright. Oh yeah, here we go. Right? So now with opacity, we can animate it. Maybe we can make it go brighter as well. Okay. Now, I think, let me check this out. Yeah, there's a layer there that's not blending too well. Could be the hard light. Right, but now it looks a little bit more like that bright light coming off the rocket is brightening up the atmosphere, right? So you have the smoke. So if I put this on top, I don't think we need a shadow if we have a bright light source, right? So the shadow, you wouldn't see a shadow. Maybe you would see it further on the distance, but I think it might be okay if we leave that out. That looks actually good, right? Right. So even something like that would work, and then you can just tone it down depending on I mean, when it's off or when it's small, you can just make it less, right? And then I'm going to make it that to 100. 1 second. I'm gonna make it actually nothing at this point. Up. A 100. And then nothing. So what's going to happen, it's going to create the illusion that the light is interacting with the floor, right? And again, back to 100. Keyframe. And as it gets higher, we bring this lower. Right, so let's play it back. And there we go, right? Just let it loop. Right, you can see it on the floor now. That it looks more like it's in that same environment, right? So that's something that I saw right away, that can make it look like it's it needs something like that to make it more realistic, right? So that's all. Okay, so I'll leave it like that, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.